Hello, welcome to Still Print. Thank you very, very much for being here. As you can tell from the title, these are just some of the, thoughts, the post-debate thoughts, and they're not going to be mine. They're going to be Spirit. I just have a couple of things to say first. This is a bonus video for Friday, the 28th. If you're seeing this first, do not despair. The Pendulum video was released earlier today, so, go find that and check it out. Again, this is one of those reasons where I really ask you, if you are subscribed, to please hit the notification bell. If you're not subscribed, please consider it. I'm not one of those sort of channels that floods the market with stuff, so you're not going to be getting notification bells going off continually. But every once in a while, I hop on a second time or an unusual time because I feel that there's a need. So we can't pretty this up, right? The Biden performance was a disappointment. And in some ways, the Trump performance didn't disappoint at all because he just lied and lied and lied. When I saw they were showing pictures of Biden arriving in Georgia, getting off the plane, and I was like, uh-oh. And then they showed pictures of him interacting with people before he went into the debate, and I was like, uh-oh, because you could see that he was just off. Now, they're saying that he had a cold or is suffering from one, and, you know, that's exactly kind of the energy he had. He was just low energy. It was a little bit unfocused. And it's how you feel when you have a cold, okay? I mean, there's no rocket science there. But unfortunately, the timing of that cold was really, really unfortunate because that vibrant and vital and in control man that we saw at the State of the Union was nowhere to be seen yesterday. Now, there's a lot of yakking and flurrying, and he should step down, and this is a disaster, and who do we replace him with? Everybody just take a deep breath, okay? Because energetically, it still very, very much feels like this is his race to win. So I'm going to turn this over to Spirit because, frankly, they're like way wiser than I am. And let's just see what Spirit has to say. All right, so Spirit, if you could give me and us some clarity on the sort of the ramifications, the impact of that debate yesterday, but for, in terms of the U.S. political landscape, some clarity would really be appreciated at this time. So it's incredibly important that, you know, everybody sort of just take this in stride. And that may be hard to do right now, but there was a lot of talk yesterday, and people really should have taken it to heart, that incumbent presidents almost always blow the first debate. And what the reasons for that are, I mean, there's reasons. But it what you had yesterday was you had somebody on the one side who was really trying to get out facts and figures and accomplishments, and you had somebody on the other side who frankly appeared more vibrant, except he was vibrant with lies. There was very, very little that came out of his mouth that could be considered the truth. He lied about the economy. He lied about prescription drug prices. He lied about inflation. He lied about employment. There was nothing that he didn't, twist and attempt to give himself credit for. And that, frankly, the fact that CNN founded no way to try to fact check him is appalling. That's not a news organization that lets 90 minutes of flat out lies go on the air to millions and millions of people. At the very least, they should have had a streamer thing running across the bottom saying, not verified by facts, or, the accurate number is, but they just let him spew. And I have to say, you know what? I would think that in that circumstance, when you have one person who is sort of fact orientated and you have another one who is just seizing on every opportunity to turn and twist, you get exactly what you got yesterday. It was a lot, and it would be a lot for any candidate to have to spend half of their allotted time fact checking somebody and then also trying to get their point out. And so it really did make for a it was a hard thing to watch because it was frustrating to listen to Trump lie, and it was concerning watching sort of that very low sort of energy. Now he did pick up towards the end of it, and what's even more ironic, if you saw any of the pictures of sort of the after party, he was like alert, his voice was strong. So it was like, what the heck was going on there? Apparently there is some conversation about the fact that his mic wasn't situated in exactly the right place. Again, these aren't excuses, but you have to face the realities. He was not feeling well. The mic was not properly positioned, apparently. And you are on the stage with somebody who is so skilled at lying that it just flows out of his mouth. I mean, he was taking credit for everything and anything. I mean, honestly. So, and he had no answers. I mean, that was the other thing, right? He absolutely didn't have any answers to questions. And the number of times he was asked a direct question and basically said, I'll get to that, but first I want to talk about this. And there were times that he was asked the same question by the moderators 2 and 3 times, and he still didn't answer them, right? I mean, he just went off on these tangents. So some of the more egregious sort of policies, if you will, that he is spouting, like, he's going to deport like millions of people. Well, he didn't have an answer for that, right? He didn't say how he was going to do that or who was going to be impacted. He just said he had to do that because it was all Joe Biden's fault because, the borders weren't strong. That's not answering the question. So I think, generally speaking, as we look over the sort of overall energy, what we have is people who believe every one of Trump's lies were, they became more embedded. The vast majority of people were like, oh, hell no, there's no way we can deal with him because look, even 4 years later, this guy cannot stop lying. So everything that came out of his mouth was a lie. And what that did was it reinforced, and apparently he also got sort of very kind of aggressive and bombastic towards the end. That reinforced the behavior that people saw for 4 years, have had to deal with for the last 4 years. He didn't do himself any favors except with his already entrenched base. All right. Now, as for Biden, it is simply unfortunate that he presented with sort of such low energy. It's very interesting because when people were looking at the situation, the timing of the debate, what was going to happen, the word chaos was used a lot. And I think certainly where I missed, and others may have, I can't speak for them, but the chaos was not actually so much during the debate because that was so strictly controlled. The chaos was everything that's going on after. And beyond that, that chaos is being amplified by some of the Supreme Court decisions that have come down, including the Chevron one, which is just, according to legal people, just an absolute disaster. So there's all this kind of stuff going on. And I think that that was the energy of chaos that we were picking up on. So apparently, Biden has a rally. I think it's in Raleigh, North Carolina. God, I hope I got that state right. I'm Canadian. What can I say? And you know what? He's going to bop up on the stage and it's going to be strong and, it's going to sort of mitigate some of the impression that unfortunately was presented at the debate. So where do we go from here? Well, where you go from here as Americans is you get busy. You get busy supporting not only Biden, all your down ballot Democrats, and you become more focused on what you individually can do to support campaigns. If there's a final thought that I want you to take away, it's this. Trump did not gain one voter with that performance yesterday. He did not sway one soul. And in fact, people who maybe were kind of, on the fence, they were reminded very clearly about who he is and what his behavior is. It doesn't appear energetically so much that Joe Biden lost voters as much as he didn't really reassure them. And in many ways, that was sort of his job yesterday, was to reassure, people, other Democrats, that he was up for the job. And unfortunately, that was not a message that was clearly translated. Now, in the days that follow, you can anticipate that is going to, they're going to mitigate that. And you can anticipate that there's going to be a flood of surrogates out there who are making sure that people understand what has been achieved under his presidency. And that really becomes what needs to be the focus now. So, yes, it was disappointing. It was not devastating. And I don't want you out there panicking and worrying and being afraid, because it's not a necessary or even accurate reaction to the debate. Take a step back, breathe, recognize that, again, incumbent presidents apparently always blow their first debates. And so, frankly, looks like Biden's in pretty good company. And recognize that Trump didn't make any inroads, okay? And that's really the most important thing that you have to remember, because if you watch the Thursday video where I was talking about the shrinking man, he's still shrinking. All that's happening is that sort of wide-eyed mega base is coming closer and closer, and they're tightening. That's fine. Let them tighten. They are not enough of the population get this guy into office. What needs to happen now is the people who don't like either choice, they need to be reached out to by the Biden camp and reassured that things, that he is strong and he's up for the job, and look at the list of accomplishments that he's accomplished, bipartisan ones included. Okay. Thank you. That's what we know right now. Okay. So please take the weekend, just settle down, calm down. Don't get scared. Don't get worried. Trust that everything is unfolding in a way that ultimately serves the Biden camp, and that which is in the highest regard for the United States and its citizens is on track to being done and accomplished. Okay? Have a good weekend. Don't let this roll around in your head for the next 2 or 3 or 4 days, because of course we've got holidays coming in this coming week. Just sit back, relax, take it easy, and trust that, frankly, a politician with Biden's decades of experience and the kind of people he has around him, they're going to pull this out. Okay. They just are. So that's what I know. That's what I hope you know. I hope this has been at least a little bit reassuring. And honestly, this might be a really good time to just turn off media for a little while after you watch this. But just step away from it for a while. Go celebrate the holidays that are coming up this coming week, okay? Alrighty. That's what I know for now. Take really good care of yourself, and until next time, be well. Bye-bye.